There's a bottle of oil sitting on a shelf right now that could destroy your Mitsubishi's engine in less than 30,000 miles. And the terrifying part? It's probably the same oil you used at your last oil change. I'm not here to sell you anything. I worked for Mitsubishi, and I've personally torn down engines that failed catastrophically. Engines with only 40, 50, 60,000 miles on them. Engines that should have lasted 300,000 miles. And when we investigated what went wrong, it always came back to the same thing: the wrong oil. If you drive an Outlander, an Eclipse Cross, an ASX, a Lancer, or a Pajero, you need to hear this. Because today, I'm exposing the 7 oils that are silently killing Mitsubishi engines across the country. We're ranking them from not recommended all the way up to engine killer. Some of these you've probably heard of. Others are going to shock you. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which bottles to avoid and which one could save you from a $6,000 repair bill. So let's get into it. Number 7. Straight weight oils. Let's start with number 7 on our list. Straight weight oils like SAE 30 or SAE 40. Now, if you're a younger driver, you might not have even heard of these. But if you're over 50, you might remember your dad using them back in the day. Here's the problem. These oils don't have a W rating. That W stands for winter. And it's not just some marketing gimmick. It means the oil is designed to adapt to temperature changes. Straight weight oils don't do that. Think about it this way. When you start your Mitsubishi on a cold morning, that oil needs to flow immediately. Straight weight oil is like cold honey in the winter. It's thick, sluggish, and by the time it reaches your engine's critical components, significant wear has already occurred. We call this a dry start, and it's one of the most damaging things that can happen to an engine. On the flip side, when your engine heats up during normal operation, straight weight oil can become too thin. It loses its protective film strength, and suddenly your pistons, camshafts, and bearings are grinding against each other with minimal protection. Modern Mitsubishi engines are built to incredibly tight tolerances. They need oil that stays consistent across a wide temperature. Straight weight oils simply can't deliver that. If you're using SAE 30 or SAE 40 in your Mitsubishi, you're gambling with your engine every single time you turn the key. The fix? Use a multi-grade oil like 0W20 or 5W30, depending on what your owner's manual specifies. It's that simple. Number 6. Heavy-duty diesel oils. Now, you might be thinking, why would anyone put diesel oil in a gasoline Mitsubishi? But here's the thing. It happens more often than you'd think, especially with people who also own trucks or work in industries where diesel oil is readily available. Diesel oils are formulated differently. They contain high levels of something called SAPS. That's sulfated ash, phosphorus, and sulfur. These additives are fantastic for protecting diesel engines, which operate under extreme pressure and temperature. But in a gasoline engine, they're toxic. Here's what happens. Those high levels of phosphorus and ash don't just disappear, they flow through your engine and eventually make their way into your exhaust system. Once there, they start coating your catalytic converter. Over time, this coating builds up and poisons the converter, reducing its ability to clean your exhaust gases. If you own a newer Mitsubishi with a gasoline particulate filter, or GPF, the situation gets even worse. That filter is designed to trap microscopic particles. When you introduce high ash oil into the equation, it clogs the filter like coffee grounds in a drain. The result? A check engine light, a massive drop in performance, and a repair bill that can easily hit $1,500 to $3,000. And let's not forget about emissions tests. A poisoned catalytic converter means you're pumping out pollutants, and in most states, that means your vehicle won't pass inspection. You'll be stuck with a car you legally can't drive until you replace the damaged parts. Number 5. Low quality economy, store brands, no certifications. Those bargain bin, no-name store brand oils you see at discount retailers. You know the ones I'm talking about. The bottles that are half the price of the major brands, generic labels, and no recognizable logos. Now I'm all for saving money. But when it comes to engine oil, cheap can cost you everything. Here's what you need to understand. Legitimate motor oils carry specific certification. You should see the API Starburst symbol or the ILSACDF 6 certification on the bottle. These aren't just decorative, they're proof that the oil has been tested and meets strict performance standards. Economy oils often lack these certifications. That means they haven't been formulated with the advanced additive packages your Mitsubishi needs. Specifically, they lack the chemistry to protect your timing chain. And here's where it gets scary. Mitsubishi engines are what we call interference engines. That means the pistons and valves occupy the same space in the cylinder, just at different. The timing chain keeps everything synchronized. If that chain stretches or fails because of poor lubrication, the pistons and valves collide at high speed. The result? bent valves, cracked pistons, and a destroyed engine. We're talking about a total loss that could run you anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 depending on the model. I've seen it happen to a Lancer owner who was trying to save $15 per oil change. After 30,000 miles, the timing chain stretched so badly that it jumped a tooth. The engine self-destructed at highway speed. The owner was left stranded, and the repair estimate was more than the car was worth. So here's my rule. If you can't find the API Starburst or ILSACGF6 certification on the bottle, put it back on the shelf. Number 4. Non-synthetic oils. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. My dad used conventional oil for 40 years and never had a problem. And you know what? He might be right. But that was 40 years ago. Modern Mitsubishi engines are completely different. They run hotter, work harder, and have tighter tolerances than engines from the 90s. These engines demand oil that can handle extreme stress without breaking down. Conventional oil is made from refined crude petroleum. It does the job under normal conditions, but when temperatures inside the engine climb, and in a turbocharged Mitsubishi, they can exceed 300 degrees Fahrenheit, conventional oil starts to oxidize. That's a fancy way of saying it breaks down chemically. As it breaks down, it turns into sludge, thick, black, tar-like sludge. This sludge doesn't just sit there harmlessly. It flows through your engine, coating components and clogging narrow passages. One of the first victims? The oil pickup tube. The pickup tube is like a straw that sits in your oil pan, drawing oil up to the pump. When sludge blocks that tube, the pump can't deliver oil to the engine. And an engine without oil? That's an engine that's about to seize. I worked on an Eclipse Cross that came in with a seized engine. The owner had been using conventional oil and extending the oil change intervals to try to save money. When we tore the engine apart, the inside looked like someone had poured tar into it. The oil pickup tube was completely blocked. The bearings were scored, the camshafts were scarred, and the whole engine had to be replaced. Synthetic oil, on the other hand, is engineered at the molecular level. It resists breakdown, flows better in cold temperatures, and stays cleaner for longer. For a modern Mitsubishi, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Hey, quick time out. If you're finding this information valuable and you want to keep your Mitsubishi on the road for 300,000 miles, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. We release deep dive maintenance guides every single week, covering everything from oil changes to transmission flushes to timing belt replacement. And if you've learned something new today, smash that like button. It helps us reach more Mitsubishi owners who need to hear this. All right, let's get back to it. Number 3, high viscosity, heavy oils. Coming in at number 3, high viscosity oils like 20W50 or 15W40. These are the oils you might see recommended for older cars, high mileage vehicles, or even motorcycles. But in a modern Mitsubishi, they're a recipe for disaster. Here's why. Your Mitsubishi is equipped with something called MyVec. That's Mitsubishi Innovative Valve Timing Electronic Control. It's a sophisticated system that adjusts valve timing on the fly to optimize performance and fuel efficiency. And it relies on oil, specifically thin, fast-flowing oil, to work as a hydraulic fluid. Think of MyVec like a high-tech plumbing system with tiny passages and precision solenoids. It needs oil that can rush through those passages instantly. When you use thick, heavy oil like 20W50, it's like trying to push honey through a coffee stirrer. It just doesn't flow fast enough. The result? Your MyVec system can't adjust the valve timing properly. You'll notice a loss of power, poor fuel economy, and eventually, a check engine light. The ECU will throw codes related to camshaft position or timing, and if you ignore it long enough, you can damage the MIVEC solenoids themselves, a repair that can easily cost $600 to $1,000 per solenoid. But it gets worse. Heavy oils also cause problems during cold starts. When you fire up your engine on a cold morning, that thick oil takes forever to circulate. For those first few seconds, sometimes even a full minute, your engine is running with inadequate lubrication. This is called a dry start, and it causes more wear than hours of normal driving. Mitsubishi engineers designed these engines to use 0W20 oil for a reason. That 0W means it flows like water even in freezing temperatures, ensuring instant protection the moment you start the engine. If your manual calls for 0W20, don't second guess it. Use 0W20. Number 2. Used or re-refined oil of unknown origin. Now, I want to be clear. Legitimate re-refined oil that's been properly processed and meets all certifications can actually be a good, environmentally friendly option. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about oil of questionable origin. Oil that's been recycled but not properly filtered or treated. Oil that might have been drained from someone else's engine and sold under the table. Here's the nightmare scenario. Poorly processed recycled oil can contain microscopic metal particles, tiny flakes of iron, aluminum, or copper left over from the engines it previously lubricated. When you put that oil into your Mitsubishi, those particles act like liquid sandpaper. They flow through your engine, scoring cylinder walls, scratching bearings, and wearing down piston rings. But metal particles aren't the only problem. Used oil can also contain residual acids and contaminants. These acids are corrosive. They attack the soft metal components in your engine, things like bearing surfaces and certain internal coatings. Over time, this causes internal erosion that's invisible until it's too late. And then there are the solenoids. Modern Mitsubishi engines use electronic solenoids to control everything from valve timing to oil pressure. These solenoids have tiny orifices and delicate screens. When contaminated oil flows through them, it clogs these screens, causing erratic operation and eventual failure. I once diagnosed an ASX that was having bizarre performance issues: rough idle, intermittent stalling, and poor acceleration. When we drained the oil, it looked wrong. It had a strange color and an odd smell. The owner admitted he'd bought discount oil from someone online. We sent a sample to a lab and it came back contaminated with metal particles and acids. The engine already had measurable wear in the cylinder walls at only 40,000 miles. The lesson: only buy oil from reputable retailers and always check for proper API and ILSAC certifications. But if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Your engine is too valuable to gamble with. Number 1. Oils without LSPI protection. And finally, the number 1 engine killer for Mitsubishi owners: oils without LSPI protection. If you drive a turbocharged Mitsubishi, like the Eclipse Cross with the 1.5-liter turbo, or certain Outlander models, this is the single most important thing you need to know. LSPI stands for low-speed pre-ignition, and it's a phenomenon that occurs in modern, small-displacement turbocharged engines. Here's what happens. Under certain conditions, usually low RPM with high load, like when you're accelerating from a stoplight, the fuel-air mixture can ignite prematurely. Not from the spark plug, but from hot spots in the combustion chamber. When this happens, the pressure spike is massive. We're talking about forces that can literally shatter pistons. That's what crack pistonelli means, or bend connecting rods, and it happens in an instant. One moment you're driving normally, the next moment you hear a loud bang and your engine dies. The scary part? You won't see it coming. There's no warning light, no gradual decline in performance. LSPI is catastrophic and immediate. The solution is oil formulated specifically to prevent LSPI. You need oil that meets the API-SP or SN+ specification. These oils contain special additive packages, specifically formulated calcium detergents and anti-wear agents that prevent the conditions that lead to pre-ignition. Older oil specifications like API-SN or SM don't have this protection. They were developed before LSPI became a known issue. If you're putting regular SN-rated oil in a turbocharged Mitsubishi, you're playing Russian roulette with your engine. Here's the thing: API-SP oil isn't more expensive. It's not some exotic racing oil. It's readily available at any auto parts store, and it costs the same as regular oil. There is literally no reason not to use it. So let me make this clear. If you own a turbocharged Mitsubishi, check the back of your oil bottle right now. If it doesn't say API-SP or SN+, you need to change your oil immediately. It could save you thousands of dollars in a destroyed engine. Technical deep dive. All right, I know we've thrown a lot of technical terms at you, so let's break down what all those letters and numbers actually mean. API. This stands for American Petroleum Institute. The API tests and certifies motor oils. The current highest rating is SP, which was introduced in 2020. This rating includes LSPI protection and is backward compatible with older engines. ILSAC. That's the International Lubricant Standardization and Approval Committee. Their rating is GF6A for regular oils and GF6B for lower viscosity oils. If you see GF6A or GF6B on the bottle, you're good to go. 0W20, 5W30. These numbers tell you the oil's viscosity. The first number, with the W, is the winter viscosity, how thick the oil is in cold temperatures. The second number is the operating viscosity at engine temperature. Lower numbers mean thinner oil that flows faster. Here's your cheat sheet. When you're standing in the auto parts store looking at oil bottles, look for these things. If the bottle has all 4 of these, you're holding the right oil. If even one is missing, put it back. Look, if you made it this far, you now know more about selecting engine oil than 90% of Mitsubishi owners out there. You know what API means. You know why that starburst symbol matters. You know exactly what to look for on the back of that bottle. That knowledge just saved you from potentially thousands of dollars in repairs. So if this video taught you how to protect your Mitsubishi and choose the right oil with confidence, smash that subscribe button right now. We drop maintenance guides like this every single week. Real information that keeps your vehicle running strong. Drop a comment and let me know what you drive. And if you know another Mitsubishi owner who needs to see this, share it with them. You might just save their engine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.